And then I got the diagnosis of cancer diagnosis. It was 3 years ago. It was terminal. And yeah, but the thing is that I wasn't so depressed. Why? Because I knew.
Sammy, how did you find Carnivore?
How did I find Carnivore? The thing is that before I found Carnivore, I was into ketogenic diet. Plant-based ketogenic diet, almost near to vegan ketogenic diet. The idea behind this is the fact that, you see, I was severely suffering from eating disorders for 25 years. 25 years, where I took laxative every day, 250 laxative a day, 250 laxative a day. As a part of purging, I was always bulimic. After binging, you want to offset your binge. One of the binging processes is, laxative. The other one is self-vomiting. And I've been suffering that for 25 years, during which I went to psychiatrist. Interestingly, they gave me anti-seizure drug for, I don't know why. And I had been taking an anti-seizure drug for 25 years. Then I came across the articles all about ketogenic diet, during which though, I was suffering from eating disorder. I knew psychiatrists didn't know the answer. That's why I took the correspondent course to study biology, human biology, biochemistry, to help myself. That is why I was able to come across the article which was all about ketogenic diet. Originally, ketogenic diet is for epileptic children with epilepsy. The ketogenic diet has anti-seizure element, effect. Then I was taking an anti-seizure drug. Maybe ketogenic diet would work for eating disorders. Then I dove into it. Guess what? It worked. Because of the ketosis, which helped my eating disorder improvement. But for some reason, I came across some articles. They are trying to eat zero carb diet. When you try to cut the carbohydrate completely, you are going to eat just meat or eggs, some animal products. So this is my origination of getting into the carnivore diet. Yeah, it was 2018. Next month, it's going to be 8 years of anniversary of carnivore diet.
My understanding of eating disorders is kind of you don't really recognize there's a problem, but you seem to recognize there was an issue and you were actively trying to resolve the issue. For the whole 25 years, did you feel like this is a problem? I have to fix this?
Okay, I think eating disorder is a kind of a spectrum. The people who just binge eating, emotional eating, you have stressful days, and okay, I'm gonna put some emotion in the form of eating. It can be okay. You can recover from the binge eating quite easily. But in my case, I was stuck at home whole day, kept eating whole day. I couldn't just stop eating. Despite I decided that, okay, I'm not gonna eat, but I just can't stop eating. It started to happen when I was 15 years old, 15. And I went to a psychiatrist. I knew there is something wrong about my brain. Went to the psychiatrist. He actually, despite the fact that he had published several books, they are all about mental health, all of that, depression, all of that. The psychiatrist, didn't know anything about bulimia. He knew, anorexic conditions. Anorexic has been kind of known for centuries, but bulimia was new concept back then, 1980s kind of stuff. So, and I have a very, very hard time to control my appetite, but also my purging. As I mentioned, my purging was absolutely abnormal. I knew it. And also I stopped socialization. I stopped going to the school. So my life was consumed by eating disorder. It was problematic. I couldn't ignore.
The ketogenic diet helped you get away from that, and then you've been carnivore since 2018.
Yes.
So what has changed for you in those 8 years?
Well, obviously, before the carnivore diet, I was vegan, vegetarian for, I don't know, decades. Since I was 6, I became a vegan. Let me talk about my childhood dietary history. At age 6, I became a vegan kid, not because I was thinking about, global environment, all of that. I just having a lot of skin issues, especially hives, like an allergic reaction on my skin. Went to not psychiatrist, dermatologist. She decided that the reason I was having a skin issue is because I was eating animal flesh. So I had to be a vegan kid because of the misdiagnosis. And yeah, after that, I was vegan, vegetarian. And, when was that? Maybe in my 20s, oh, I was severely suffering from eating disorder, but I started to eat a little bit eggs and pork, but it wasn't a decent amount. Still, I was plant heavy person. And then be into the ketogenic diet, and it helped my cognitive, not cognitive, like a psychiatric condition. But the ketogenic diet solved my psychiatric conditions. But ketogenic diet didn't solve my gastrointestinal issues, especially bloating and constipation. And I switched to only meat diet. I literally dove into the, lion diet, only beef diet. Day one, my bloating, which was absolutely ridiculously, big tummy condition, went away. Day one, carnivore diet. And another benefits is that, yeah, energy went through the roof. This is a moment I started to be into fitness, lifting weight. Previously, I was so skinny, bony, really, really skinny, but I didn't have energy even on the ketogenic diet, plant-based ketogenic diet, shall I say. The third benefit is that intermittent fasting. 1917, Dr. Jason Fung started to talk about, intermittent fasting, it becoming a boom, becoming a trend. I wanted to try that. Then the thing is that when I eat plant-based ketogenic diet meal, it's tremendously difficult to do longer than 14 hours of fasting. 14. I couldn't make it. But boom, carnivore diet, it's absolutely easy. Eating something, you don't need to think about when I'm going to eat next meal. This is a kind of a liberty for people who have had a eating disorder episodes. This is a true, liberty. So these are the, the benefit I got carnivore. Here's the thing. I had been eating just beef, only beef, carnivore style. And then I got the diagnosis of cancer diagnosis. It was 3 years ago. It was terminal. And yeah, but the thing is that I wasn't so depressed. Why? Because I knew the application of ketogenic diet for cancer treatment. I knew this stuff. And also I knew my medical practitioners, my medical team, didn't know anything about ketogenic diet for cancer. Now I got the operation, the chemo. I kept eating the only fatty beef diet. But because of the, ketogenic diet or carnivore ketogenic diet, my recovery was so fast. Despite of the very, very challenging operation, 6 months or 5 months later, already I started to do deadliftings and, barbell squatting, all of that. This is the time I started to make a mistake. The thing is that, when I was eating the only beef diet, I was able to achieve high ketone level. Here's the thing. Everybody knows by now, Dr. Safely, he's a well-known cancer biologist, established the GKI number. GKI stands for glucose keto index. As everybody knows, cancer gets fueled by mainly glucose, meaning that low glucose and high ketone is beneficial for cancer treatment. I was able to achieve the low GKI number. By the way, GKI number lower than 2 is beneficial for cancer treatment. I was able to achieve the very, very low GKI. But because of the fact that I became overconfident. Hey, look, I'm thriving, surviving, being on the carnivore. And even I was on the Dr. Sean Baker's show saying that, hey, I just have been carnivore. I can survive. Look, I was overconfident. What the mistake I was making at the moment is that previously I was on diet. And then at the moment, my goal was not cancer management. My goal was becoming big, buffed or muscles and, strengths and fitness goal. To achieve the, hypertrophy of your muscle, dietary intervention is going to be high protein intake. Okay, I'm going to do high protein carnivore diet. But to achieve the high protein diet, just eating beef, it's going to be too pricey. So I started to incorporated pork, chicken, fish, eggs, and then achieving the very, very, very high protein intake. And it lasted 11 months, during which I was on the Dr. Sean Baker's show. First appearance of his show kind of ignited my new followers or my Instagram, account, Instagram channel. I gained literally thousands of great followers. They are very supportive of me, give me a love and prayers and encouragement every day. Among one of them, my followers, she's a cancer biologist. And then she kind of sent me a lot of DMs saying that, Sammy, are you checking GKI number? Then I go, yeah, I did check the GKI number a year ago. It was fine, but I was forgetting the checking a GKI number where I was achieving high protein. But since she was so persistent, I was even felt annoyed by it. But anyway, checked upon my GKI number, which was alarmingly high, very high. It is bad for your cancer management. And then now I realize that, I am doing something tremendously bad to my body. And then at first, I tried to lower the GKI number. First attempt was prolonged intermittent fasting. At that time, my intermittent fasting time is 14 to 16 hours. But I tried 23, 24 hours intermittent fasting. It was awful. I I got cranky, tired, zero motivation. Really, I couldn't make it. I abandoned the idea of prolonged intermittent fasting. And then at the moment, I realized that when I was able to achieve low GKI number, I was on the lion diet, only beef diet. Okay, it could be the reason. And then I started to eat the only fatty beef diet again. Boom, my GKI plummeted. Interesting, right? Here's my analogy. Can I keep talking that? Okay. The thing is that let's think about biology of ruminant animals like a cow, the beef. They have 4 stomach chambers. That's why what they eat is going to be actually digest slowly to the point that they can detoxify some of the unwanted elements, the compounds. Unfortunately, conventional way to raise them, we dump the corn and so on, the wheat, and a little bit sprinkle the glyphosate, if you will. But somewhat they can detoxify that. That is why it is said that beef is one of the most safe food to eat. In contrast, monogastric animals, pork, chicken, fish, eggs, hence the name, they have only one stomach. That is why what they eat is going to reflect on their flesh to some extent. That is why, for those people who have a kind of a serious illnesses like a cancer or autoimmune or very severe psychiatric, conditions, we are very, very sensitive to this element. But here's the thing. I have to make this comment. Now, currently, who are eating a breakfast, eating eggs and chicken drumsticks and all of them, don't drop them. Most of the people eating a conventional way to raise a chicken, the pork, and fish, no problem. Here's an analogy. Every time we breathe the air, there is always pathogenic, compounds like airborne with virus and dust and hairs and all of that. We inhale them, but every time if you breathe the air, you're not gonna drop it because of the pathogen. There is always filtering system. Our body is capable enough to get rid of the majority of the pathogenic, the things, elements. Same goes. Conventional way to raise chicken, pork, and fish. Most of the people, you can get away with this. Don't think about, oh, I'm eating chicken, so I'm bad. No, no, no. You are absolutely okay. Only tiny, tiny portion of the people, like myself, might get affected or might have an immunological or some kind of a response, inflammatory response by eating a conventional way of raised monogastric animals. So knowing that I should stick to the lion diet, since then I'm strictly being on the lion diet, only fatty beef, conventional way, not the fancy grass-fed stuff. You know that, Dave, Japan, we don't have a great accessibility to eat grass-fed beef. Even the farmers are kind of proud of their corn-fed beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my journey of carnivore.
So, just regarding the cancer, I mean, what's the status of the cancer? Is this in remission?
Good question. Unlike majority of the cancer survivors in this community, they are put in the cancer remission. They are cancer free, but I'm not. Still, I have 2 metastases going on. One is liver, the other one is lung. Lung cancer or lung metastasis was discovered soon after, not soon after, during I was eating a high protein carnivore diet. High high protein carnivore allowed my body to develop new metastasis. Currently, I'm still have a lung cancer, liver cancer. And the thing is that 15 months ago, they discovered a new metastasis in my liver. I was strongly recommended to have another surgery, which I turned down. I'm going to talk about the reason later on. And even I was told that delaying a month of operation for new metastasis means death. 15 months ago. But look, I haven't dropped that.
Wow. And I feel there was probably a lot of pressure put on you at the time, right? By the doctors?
Yes, they are. They were really into, like, I tried to convince me, hey, look, it's a serious illness. You are saying things like, carnivores and ketos and, you are dying. You have to take it. But the reason, okay, one more thing. I should have mentioned that even a doctor from Safely team, one of the doctors from Dr. Safely team, even recommended that I should consider the operation for metastasis. Cancer is a serious business. The reason I didn't want to take any surgery is like this. During the hospitalization for original, my colon cancer operation, it was very, very challenging operation. I was cut in half, top to bottom, they got rid of the half of the colon, 1/3 of the liver, 4 lymph nodes, and the appendix. Everything was out. And after that, I developed a kind of a dull pain in my liver. I kept complaining, hey, please check my liver. I feel so painful. My liver hurts. I mentioned many, many times, but no, of course, we cut your liver. Of course, it's gonna be painful. And then nobody take up any put the attention. Nobody gave me any attention. But I knew there was something wrong about my liver. At the time, because of the pain, I took painkillers 7 times a day during hospitalization. And I didn't have a very, very high fever, like a mildly high fever, but I knew that taking painkillers, it has a effect of lower your temperature. And I intentionally stopped taking the painkiller. 3 hours later, my temperature went up to 41 degrees Celsius. Very, very high temperature. Now, all of the nurses freaked out. And an emergency operation was conducted due to the fact that my liver had been accumulating pus, blood, something. I was about to cause sepsis. I was able to stop that. I was able to stop that to happen. Experiencing this event, I just couldn't trust them. Literally. That's why maybe I should have taken the surgery for my future, but I just couldn't trust them. That is why, sometimes people tell me that, hey, I got a cancer diagnosis. I'm following you. That's why I am going to, reject the operation. Like Sammy, no, 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 no. You shouldn't. Surgical removal, there is a time and place. It could be the best option for you. For some reasons, I couldn't have a great relationship with my medical team. So that's why most important thing for cancer patient is create or develop the better relationship with them, even though they don't understand the carnivore. But, rejecting the operation is not always good. I just wanted to mention that this moment.
Well, thank you very much for, sharing your story so far and also that recommendation. So at this, well, actually, to take a step back,
Mhm.
um, we're both in Japan,
Yeah.
and I've lived in Japan long enough that I feel like I kind of understand some of the cultural norms in Japan, and um, for me, it feels like it must have been very hard for you throughout your entire life to firstly eat vegan and then to go to carnivore. I mean, culturally, these styles of eating kind of put you outside everyone else, no?
Great question. This is a question I frequently get asked. Number one, contributor to be able to be carnivore or vegan is due to the fact that when I was a vegan, I was severely suffering from eating disorder, right? That's why already I all of the interaction with other human beings in Japan cut it dead. And also my mom was always absent. She didn't know what I was eating. And then now, yes, I was, going through the whole of the spectrum of the diet under the sun. And then, and then the thing is that it's a difficult to explain. Now, though, I have no symptom of eating disorder, zero. I can enjoy my food. I don't obsess with my weight and all of that. But for some reason, I don't have Japanese friends. When I say this, I feel like I'm so pathetic person. Here's another. This is the first time to talk about this online or publicly. I started to study English when I was 38 years old. 38 years old. At that time, I was still suffering from eating disorder. And then the thing is that I couldn't do anything. I know biology, but being suffering from eating disorder, knowing biology, it's not gonna help to get yourself hired. So I couldn't do anything. So I ended up making myself janitor. I literally cleaned the public bathroom every day. I felt so miserable, but only one thing I liked was English. I really admire the English as a language. And I purchased the two English grammar books. I really loved, English grammar. And then I really into it. Then to the point that it was very easy for me to get a high mark of the TOEIC score. TOEIC is Japanese people's, English test. That's led me to be a teacher who, who teaches, kind of English, no, TOEIC test taking strategy. I was becoming a TOEIC teacher. And then, I started to kind of learn how to speak English. Looking back in a reflection, at the moment, I was trying to find a new identity by speaking different language, which worked. So this is a moment I became so outgoing by speaking English. I have made a lot of international friends here in Japan. So when I speak Japanese, I'm very, very shy. I'm not going to talk about myself like this. But speaking English somewhat sets me free to talk about anything. This, I don't know, the characteristics is just something that I developed to the point that I do have international friends here, but I have very, very few Japanese acquaintances. One of the reasons, Dave, is kind of a funny story. The reason I can be very, very open to my condition, eating disorder, my private life on Instagram, social media is due to the fact that I have very, very few Japanese followers. Some of them don't even understand what I'm talking about because I provide my content in English, meaning that I can keep myself being anonymous in Japan? I hope that I am answering your question.
Yeah, it's yeah. It, it kind of starting to make sense now. Because I've always had this feeling like for the regular, the regular kind of everyday salary man kind of person in
Mhm.
Japan, um, like doing carnivore would just seem impossible. When they go out for business dinners or something like that, it would seem so difficult.
Absolutely impossible. Impossible. And then you know that, Dave, Japanese people are very conservative. Very conservative. It can be a little bit judgmental. That's why if I had to have a lot of Japanese friends and explained what I'm doing, definitely I can't, get across a message. Yeah, very difficult to be carnivore, to be vegan in Japan. Maybe vegan can be acceptable because there is a universal notion that plant-based is good. Plant-based is good for your environment, good for your body, good for your spiritual. But definitely carnivore is no, 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 no.
Yeah. I mean, and that's interesting despite in Japan, like, there's quite a lot of meat consumed day to day, right? Like
Yes,
shabu shabu, yakiniku, that kind of thing, right?
right. But there is a kind of a idea from foreigners to believe that, oh, Japanese people are vegetarian. Look at Okinawans. They are eating sweet potato whole day. No, 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 no. They are big pork eaters, right?
Yeah. Um, so on the topic of food, day to day, how are you eating?
Well, as I mentioned, I focus on the fatty beef. But unfortunately, Japanese beef is tremendously expensive. I always choose the Australian beef or American beef. And there some people recommended that, oh, you should stick to stick with like that grass-fed beef. As I mentioned, you know, kind of, it's a very, very difficult for Japanese people to have grass-fed beef. That's why I always eat conventional race, the grain-fed beef. This is my staple food. But here's an interesting story. I incorporated kimchi into my diet, although I was able to mitigate the bloating as my like one of the uh, GI issues. But in terms of the constipation, I was not able to solve the constipation problem with only beef diet. Now, one day I incorporate the kimchi. That kimchi is made by Japanese company. It's my bowel movement started to move. Weird way to say that my regularity starts to happen. And then one day I spotted the kimchi, which is made by Korean company. I checked the ingredient, nutritious fact. It says it's lower, sugar content. Oh, healthier. It should be good. I switched to the kimchi made by Korean company. Guess what? My bowel movement stopped, right? And then, oh, what is going on? What was going on? And then I switched back to the kimchi made by Japanese certain company. My movement, bowel regularity resumed. You know what, Dave? Previously, I had tried miso, natto, sauerkraut, yogurt, kefir, kombucha. I tried everything, but oh, by the way, I did try some kimchis, but all of them didn't work. But that particular kimchi from the particular, Japanese company, only this kimchi makes my bowel moving. So this is an interesting thing. So I kind of, I'm not going to go overdo it. Just a tiny let's say 1 spoon, less than one spoon of the kimchi per meal. I eat twice a day, very fatty beef. Aside from that, I do consume some green tea. Sometimes I get messages saying that, oh, Sammy, you are drinking green tea. You are doing carnivore wrong. But, oh, chill out. Life is too short. Maybe I should have, like eliminated all of the plant compounds, including green tea. But green tea is my morning ritual. I just can't. Maybe one day I might want to try, green tea free trial, 30 days of kind. But currently I'm enjoying green tea as well. These are my
Yeah.
diet.
It's important to kind of on the green tea thing. It's important to just do what's working for you and what you're comfortable with, right? It's like the same with people drinking coffee or whatever. If we get too dogmatic about it, then yeah, it gets
Yes,
it
yes.
gets a little bit troublesome.
Thank you very much mentioning this stuff. Currently I work with people who got cancer or some medical conditions. I'm offering the free consultation or donation based. I am working with vegetarian. I'm okay if you can find some of the plant matter which doesn't affect your physiology. I don't mind let them eat that stuff. So I wanted to kind of get rid of the, as you mentioned, dogma. It's like a vegan. If you eat an egg, oh, you are out. You are murderer. I don't mind people carnivore with fruit or honey. I'm not gonna recommend you to eat fruits, but if this is something that's gonna kind of keep your carnivore journey easier, I don't mind this.
Yeah, and it's what at the end of the day is what works for each individual, right? What is your feeling at the moment about you said you were having liver pain before. How is that now? Is the pain gone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have zero symptom. I have no pain, fatigue. Some of the issues. I'm healthier than average people. This is an oxymoron. I'm a healthiest cancer patient on this planet. I go to the gym every day. I do weightlifting. And then the one thing though, I haven't solved is as a problem is sleep issue. This is something that I get asked. Hey, Sammy, you've been on the carnival 8 years and you do exercise. You're a very positive person. Why on earth you are having insomniatic symptoms? I frequently get asked. That is why, by the way, I established a new YouTube channel. One of the videos was, I was talking about why I have insomnia. It's kind of a little bit darker story. The reason is because, as I mentioned, that when I was a kid, I was having a kind of a lot of, difficulty in terms of my family dynamic. I was raised by single mom. And, these days, single mom got some level of the understanding. No one say that, oh, single mom, you are bad. No. I was raised in the society where very, very conservative. So it's difficult for my mom to figure out how to raise fatherless child. At the age 4, she decided that she was going to change her career. She worked at night, meaning that around 3, 4 p.m., she would leave our place. After that, she wouldn't come back until next morning. Meanwhile, I was completely alone at age 4. And even sometimes she left our place couple of days, leaving tremendous amount of the food. Imagine, I was extremely lonely. and being malnourished because I was vegan, completely messed up, and then abundance of food. It's a perfect recipe for develop eating disorder. Here's the thing, not only than that, but also there was a time she got a boyfriend. He lived next to our door. This is an apartment complex. He wasn't a violent person per se, but when he got drunk, he became extremely violent. Luckily, he didn't punch me, didn't, kick me. What he did was quite a lot. It was really, really scary. But years later, he disappeared. I didn't have any emotional attachment. But months later, one day at night, of course, I was alone watching a TV show. It smelled weird, odd. Opened the door. We were located third floor. From second floor, big amount of smoke coming up. Oh, wow, it's on fire. Luckily, on that day, my mom was walking in the same block. I called my mom, it's fire. And she somewhat managed to find a way to get into our place we managed to escape from the house. What the police discovered was that the guy, the previous, boyfriend, tried to kill me. He didn't like the idea of having me. Maybe he wanted to get married to my mom, or I don't know. This is the adult thing. I was too young to understand. But I was so afraid of the fact that someone tried to kill me. He was at large. Already next day, my mom was absent. I was alone. I was terrified. I couldn't sleep, even 6 or 7 years old. It happened months and years and stuff. So many, one more thing. For some reason, next month, after the fire, my biological dad popped up. He started to visit our place once in a year of kind. And three of us was so happy. I was so happy. I liked that. And then he would say things like, "Oh, I'm gonna be back here next month." And then next month came around. Every day I went to the train station from really early morning to night, waiting my dad to come every day, next 30 days. But he didn't come. He always like that. So the sadness and kind of a complicated emotions. Still PTSD, flashback memory came to my brain when I tried to fall asleep. Even I have a recurrence dreams kept coming. This is something, here's the thing. People assume that, oh, carnivore solves everything. Yeah, it can solve many things, but a carnivore itself doesn't, erase your past, doesn't, clear up your mold, exposure, not panacea. Still, we have to work on the emotion or environment, all of that.
Wow. So even now, you suffer from insomnia.
Yeah, it keeps coming back. Yeah, I'm working on it. Try to journaling and meditations and, petting my cat. Oh, my cat is my psychotherapist.
Ah,
She absorbs my sadness.
yeah. No, what kind of cat do you have?
I adopted her the end of the last year, and she was kept in the shelters for years. Previous owner was actually old lady in her 80s with dementia. That's why my cat was given only carbohydrate. My cat was, carb addiction like you were. I know your story. And then she came into my place for first 4 days. She was anorexic because I was giving her species appropriate diet, the chickens and fish and all of that. She refused. But at first, I have to put that some carbohydrate on top of the, chicken to give her a transition time to kind of I don't know, the reverse the carb addiction. It takes maybe 1 month for her to start to eat true meat. She wasn't eating meat. I think all mammals have a tendency to get addicted to carbohydrate to some extent.
So Sammy, can you tell us a little bit about how we can find you? Where is your website and your YouTube channel?
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am active on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I use Sami. And also, I established my new YouTube channel. Very few people know this at this moment. The reason I established new YouTube channel was due to the fact that previous new YouTube channel was shadow banned because I was talking about the cancer, the medical approach, it sucks, kind of stuff. Little bit, they were irritated by my contents. Some of the video was taken down. That's why this channel, I'm very careful about the usage of words. I avoid say kind of the provoking words for them. So I'm talking about my stuff, cancer stuff, but also I'm offering the free consultation for people who got cancer or having some medical issues. If you wanted to take this my free consultation, go to my website. Yeah, maybe you can find it in my Instagram account. I'm
Sure,
listed.
sure. I'll link to all of those below.
Oh, thank you.
And so, Sammy, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be on your show.